tree branches falling in the parking lot where there was lots of hail.
Yeah, let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Mark Prater once again to talk about what we saw this afternoon and what we're looking at throughout the rest of the afternoon.
We had good old-fashioned summertime thunderstorms, and we get hail with those. We also have gusty winds and a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning and heavy rainfall. It happened right over the most populated spot in our state, and that, of course, really created a lot of problems, especially with rainfall of 2 inches per hour falling around downtown Birmingham, back into Homewood, as well as Vestavia Hills. But things have started to calm down. That's good news. First off, let's talk about that flash flood warning. It's still in effect until 6:15. The National Weather Service has basically just carpeted that whole area for downtown, back down towards Brookwood Village. And we're looking at Vestavia Hills, almost down to Hoover, and back over to Irondale. Obviously, you're included in this. In Pinson, you're just to the north of us, so you're fine. No problems for Trussville with flooding at this point. Now, you can see on our storm track radar that the last batch of thunderstorms to develop out of the parent storms, which were over at least Jefferson County as well as northern Shelby County, those have started to move towards the east. And you'll see the storm track on this has it arriving at Logan Martin Lake within the minute. It's likely starting to hit some of the sloughs on the west side as well as near Riverside. Lincoln in about 12 minutes, and then eventually East Daboga around 23 minutes. A lot of cloud-to-ground lightning with that storm, or at least that cluster of storms. So please go indoors. Don't get out on the lake at this point. Notice the thunderstorms as they move into Wilsonville really start to fall apart. But we actually had an area moving towards the northwest, another area moving in from the west, and that helped to diffuse a lot of the thunderstorms, which were moving into southern Talladega County. I have this yellow line here to indicate where we have outflow boundaries. This is what happens in the summertime. We get very hot, and then a thunderstorm develops. Once that dies, it all hits the ground and starts to spread out. Well, that green line you see in there, that's showing up on the radar. That's an outflow boundary. Here's another one. That one's moving south. These are moving southwest. So anywhere in this area that hasn't seen rain could actually be dealing with a couple of thunderstorms before the evening is over with. Now, north and west of the city, near Brookside and Graysville, we still have a cluster of showers tracking towards the north and east, but I've noticed that these are actually starting to fall apart. But if they stay together, we're talking about Gardendale in 13 minutes, Morris in 20 minutes. And then this particular cell here is moving east. Again, these are moving all different directions. And we've got places like Frisco Quarters in about 4 minutes, Union Chapel in 18 minutes. If it can hold together, I've seen it start to lose some of its intensity here in the past 10 minutes or so. Here's a look at the storm track hail count, or at least the tracks that we had, and it's now updated, but realistically around downtown Birmingham and right along I-65, many of you were dealing with small hail, maybe up towards quarter size, but none of these storms were severe, and that's good news. I just don't see that we have enough of the energy in place to keep these storms going long enough to reach severe criteria. But over downtown Birmingham, we have that heat island effect. It gets very hot, and that's a constant heat source. So that's why those thunderstorms continued just to keep falling right here in downtown Birmingham. So we could see that again tomorrow. It could happen maybe over your community tomorrow. So keep in mind that when these storms come up, you've got about 15 to 20 minutes, maybe a little longer, heavy rain, a lot of lightning, and some smaller hail. And we'll be tracking them all and keeping you posted, especially on Twitter, Instagram, as well as Facebook. Here's your storm track forecast. The weekend, just hot, 96, 97, a few storms to help cool things off. Rain chances going up a bit by the middle of next week as we finally start to cool down a couple of degrees. Sherry?